Namaste everyone. Well, in the last video we have talked about how by tuning to the earth frequency we can promote global coherence, which is subject to human ascension. And today we'll talk about the third eye, with which we get the esoteric vision. So what is referred to third eye is that we always said when Shiva would open his third eye, he would burn the whole existence. However, we should know that this is a dialectical culture. So we should not take the things literally, logically. Unfortunately, people have taken the things literally, and that has distorted the whole essence behind it. So, that to say, if you want to understand the things more profoundly, you should read behind it. Yes, I'm referring to the ancient scriptures which you should go through to understand the logic and the mythology and theology behind this. Let me put it in this way, that third eye is not a physical thing. It's not like the eyes which you can see as a physical object. So that to say, I cannot turn these eyes inward. However, when we refer to third eye, it can be turned inward or outward. So that to say, we can relate the inner and the outer cosmos, which we have discussed already, through the third eye. And that is the reason astrology, with which we relate the concept of light from the ancient perspective, is referred to as Divya Chakshu or Veda Chakshu. So, having said that, I would like to tell you that this is a different dimension of seeing the reality which is beyond physical. So, alternative medicine practitioners can relate it with the theta waves. It's where your left and the right brain of hemisphere get synchronized. So in other words, we can say that your feminine and masculine energy gets synchronized at the theta waves at which the scalar field generates. Let me give you an example. There is a belief system in the ancient tradition of wearing bindi or putting tilak on the forehead. So that's what it indicates. It's about turning the eye inward instead of what we normally see with the physical eye. So you have increase your energy to a certain peak where you can see a subtle dimension, which we have related with the concept of centrality, which is missing in the modern science. However, we can relate it with the Vedic science through calendrics, the old system of calculation, which gives the idea about the galactic center, as I discussed it earlier. So when we talk about this, we are more attuned to the reality, to the subtle word. So it takes the awareness of the ancient civilization where everything was portrayed in the form of symbols. Even the numbers were given in the form of numbers. I'm talking about the era which is post-Vedic, where the Vedic era just ended, and we have observed the phase of planet Mercury, which is known as Budh in Sanskrit, and where we can derive the two root words, Buddhi, that is intellect, and Buddha, which is beyond intellect. So the one who is beyond intellect is referred to as Buddha. So when we talk about the third eye, so you're talking about the state where you have intellectually realized. And this is related to the calendric system, as I mentioned, and there are various other concepts which we have to be aware of. So hence I mentioned it, that you should refer it to the ancient scriptures to understand the meaning behind it more profoundly. I believe this would make the things more clear, and I'll take a leave for the day, and probably we'll meet again because I was being occupied with my work, so I couldn't catch up. We'll do the things definitely, because that's something which really fascinates, and I'm seeking for the same frequency with which we can relate this wonderful science. And I would look forward for your opinion, and whenever feasible I'll make the video, but with my own pace. So this is very much on, but with the pace, and I would like to have your feedbacks so that we can relate it with the quantum jump of consciousness, because when we talk about the seven layers or 7 layers of existence, because seventh is not considered as a seat of consciousness, which is still puzzle for the modern science. So when we talk about the first chakra or level of consciousness, which is referred to as Muladhara, the idea is about food and sleep. That's predominant there. Wherever, when we talk about the 7 layers of the second layer of existence, it's about enjoying the physical world. Third makes you go-getter. That's the Manipura chakra. Fourth is the Anahata, where you become creative. Art is something which really fascinates you. So with artistical mind, you can also make the things clear, because it's coming with the intuitive faculty, the intuition, and which we have connected with the concept of UV light, ultraviolet rays, where the concept of modern science or the quantum science starts. And when we refer to as when we move towards the next level, it's about expressing, it's just making things understand. But as I mentioned, that all the things cannot be understood, because it's about the esoteric science. But I would say this way, that it's about power, but don't take that as a power. It's about the power of positivity, of healing. And when we talk about the pineal gland, we have already discussed it's about when you are intellectually realized. And about the seventh is you have where the state of ecstasy starts is related with the star Vega, which we call as Abhijeet. So it's about the galactic center, to be precise, and the journey is all about that. The quantum jump of consciousness is all about that. So that's really fascinates. So I'll be always tuned into this, but I would look for the logical contribution so that we can move ahead. So I'll leave and I have opened up the concept more profoundly. So please share your views, and we'll catch up again at our own pace. Thank you. Namaste.